How do you make money as an entrepreneur?
Take effing action, put it together, and subscribe to Tom Penn's channel on YouTube now. Yeah, I like it. It's crazy.
Money. Everybody wants money, but how can you make more of it, right? We talk about 3 ways in this channel. Either you find a job that has no income ceiling, like a sales job, or you become an entrepreneur like myself, but you need a lot of capital. You need to invest money, energy, time. The third option is to become an entrepreneur. This way, you don't invest your own money. You use the resources of an entrepreneur and build a successful business, and you also get rewarded for doing that. Money, I think we all agree, is very important. If you hate money, then you're not gonna have a lot of it. If you love money and you want a lot of it, here I'm gonna tell you how to get there. So I wanna talk a little bit more about money. So one day, your parents are gonna get old, right? And they're gonna need a lot of money to be taken care of in the hospital, in a home. You want to give them a good life when they're old. That takes money. You want to send your children to the best schools. You want to give them the best education so that they have a good start in life, so that they're competitive, so that they will have a good life with a lot of money. But to do that, you need to have a lot of money. Life gives you good things in life, food, travel, nice place to live, good clothes, respect. Money gives you good things in life, and women. Cars, yachts. And also, believe it or not, money makes your marital life much better. Because when you look at your own parents, or maybe when you look at your own relationship with your husband or wife, what do you guys argue about? I bet it's a lot about money, right? If you have a lot of money, that will not be the thing you argue about. Of course, you'll still argue about something else, but it will not be about money. So let's say you want to make $1 million in the next 5 years. Let's say $1 million is about 23T. All right, let's say that is your goal. All right, so let's say you work at a job. Let's say you are an engineer working in a software company, and you make, say, 37 million dong a month after tax. All right, after PIT. To make 23T, that'll take you 621 months, and which is equivalent to 51 years. So that will take you a long time to get there. And also, that is considering that you don't use any of the money. If you just put it in a bank account and you don't eat, you don't live anywhere, you don't spend any money, that will take you 51 years. So obviously, making money on salary is not the way to get rich. So how are you ever gonna make $1 million or 23T? I'm gonna tell you how entrepreneurs in North America have become millionaires, or even to the level of 10 million, 100 million by being entrepreneur, by working for a company. Watch. So here is a Google search. So I'm searching for a Microsoft millionaire, right? So it says that there are 12,000 millionaires by 2005 in Microsoft. So let me tell you a little bit more about that. So Microsoft started, last century. When they started their tiny little company, their very first product was actually basic language in the very first personal computers. And then later on, they went into operating systems, MS-DOS, and then Windows. And that's how they become a very, very big company. So the early employees that joined Microsoft, they have stock options. So Bill Gates gave them, some stocks in the company. Not very big. Maybe, each person got a few hundred shares, a few thousand shares, which is equivalent to like 0.001% of the company. Very tiny little bit of the company. But when Microsoft went IPO, when Microsoft became a billion-dollar company, $10 billion company, $100 billion company, those shares that Bill Gates gave to the early employees, they're now worth millions of dollars, 10 millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. And this is all on the internet. You can research this. There's actually 12,000 millionaires by 2005 in Microsoft. And of course, we're in 2020, so there's much more millionaires in Microsoft because the employees own stock in Microsoft. So let's look at another company. This time let's look at Google, right? Here's an article from TechCrunch. And here it says that there are estimated 1,000 Google employees that are worth more than $5 million. When Google started, it was a tiny little company, right? I don't even know what they started with, right? But we know that they're in search engines now, and into many other things. So when they started, the early employees, they also got stock options, right? They own a tiny little fraction of the company. We're not talking about 1%, 2%, 3%. We're talking about 0.001%, like very tiny little bit. They gave them a few hundred shares, few thousand shares, and there's probably like 100 million shares, right? And when Google went IPO, when Google became a very big company, those tiny little bit of shares become millions of dollars. If you worked as an employee early in Google's history, you would be a millionaire now. And of course, we have to talk about Facebook, right? So here's an article from Business Insider, right? So Facebook IPO will make these people millionaires and billionaires. So Facebook actually created millionaires and billionaires when they went onto the stock market exchange, when they IPO'd. Here, let me read. So the top executives at Facebook and its investors are getting an unbelievable payout. They're evaluated at this time, 2012, this article was written in 2012. At that time, Facebook, the company, was worth about $75 billion to $100 billion. I'm talking about dollars, not Vietnamese dong here, right? $100 billion. I don't even know how much that is in Vietnamese dong. It's just like just crazy big number, right? So let's see who benefited from Facebook becoming a super successful company. So this girl here is Sheryl Sandberg. She's worth $88 million in 2012. Now, she's worth a lot more now, right? She owned only 0.1% of Facebook. I don't know if you can see the number here, right? She has 1.9 million shares, which equates to 0.1% of Facebook, right? And because of that, she's worth about $88 million. Again, we're talking about dollars, right? It's $88 million in 2012 because she was one of the early employees. So this guy right here, Mike, I can't say his last name, but he's the VP of engineering, right? Mike is worth about $100 million. So he's responsible for the actual Facebook product, right? VP of engineering. And he owns about 0.11% of Facebook. And that means he's worth about $98 million. Just because he was an employee of Facebook early on, and they got stock options. And those stock options matured and they become multi-millionaires. So this guy here is the CFO in Facebook, David Ebersman. He again owns about 0.1% of Facebook, and his current valuation is at $101 million. Apparently this guy's a musician too. The chief financial officer of Facebook. And they're worth this much money because they went into a company early on when they were still small and made it a total success. And that's how they become multimillionaires. So what does it mean when companies give stock to employees? So this is the stock certificate that Microsoft would issue to its employees. And this piece of paper means that the employee owns a little tiny piece of the company. And when the company is successful, then this little piece of paper could be worth millions of dollars. Aside from being an entrepreneur, right? Really, the fastest way to make money is not working a job, making a salary. It's not even being a salesperson, even though if you're a good salesperson, you can make a lot of money. It's not stocks. It's not buying stocks. It's not buying houses, investing in real estate. It's not, there's no faster way to become millionaires. There's no faster way to make money other than being an entrepreneur. Find a problem and create a solution that people want, right? But not everyone can be an entrepreneur because the sacrifice required, because of the money required. So the second best thing is to become an intrapreneur. So you go find a company that has a lot of potential. When I say potential, I mean this company has the potential of impacting millions of people's lives, right? I'm not talking about a restaurant. I'm not talking about a spa, because those things don't change people's lives. Facebook, Microsoft, Google change people's lives. You go find a company that you believe will change people's lives. They're at early stage. They just launched and they're looking for good people. They want to grow in Vietnam and across the region and maybe even the world, right? You look for a company like that. You look for a founder that's willing to give you stock options so that when the company is successful, you also win, right? And there are companies like that. There are many companies like that, usually in technology, usually startups. My companies will be that. So my companies are currently going through some procedures, and we will be very soon giving out stock options to our employees. And as the CEO and founder of my company, I only want to give stock options to my best employees, the most loyal employees, and the employees that can achieve results, right? It's not about how hard you work, it's about how much result you can produce for the company to help us become successful. And I want to reward my employees. And salary is nothing. Salary is just a way to give you money so you survive. You live an average, ordinary life. You're not starving, you won't die. Salary can only do that for you. But I want to build a super big, successful company, and I want my employees to benefit from our success. And for you, start looking for a company that will impact a lot of people's lives. Early stage, get in, make sure you get stock options, and most importantly, you need to be valuable. You need to be a MVP, which is the most valuable player, right? You need to be the MVP in the company in order to get stock options. Don't be a fucktard and become an entrepreneur and make lots of money, millions of dollars. Take fucking action.